Alright YouTube, we got a special one for you today. This is a brew video, but it is unlike any brew video that I've done in the past. Today we're going to be making root beer for Christmas. I'm enjoying a nice cold A&W here, but I've been always wanting to try my hand at making my own soda. I don't drink a whole lot of it, but occasionally I do like to have some. So I thought for Christmas this year we'd go ahead and make some root beer and put it in the keg and get it on one of our taps here. It's very simple, very straightforward. There's not going to be any boiling, there's not going to be any fermentation process. We're literally just going to mix up some honey, some sugar, some root beer extract, a little vanilla extract. We're going to get it into the keg, 5 gallons of water obviously, and carbonate that up, and we should have ourselves some root beer for Christmas Eve. So stick around and we're going to go through the process here, and hopefully by the end of this evening we'll have ourselves a nice tall glass of homemade root beer. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and continue drinking my A&W. Alright, so like I said, the process is super simple. We're not going to get into a whole bunch of crazy brew techniques here today, but we've got our little 2-gallon or 3-gallon pot. It's a small pot. I've got 1.5 gallons or so of water in here, and I'm going to get this heated up to about 150, 160 degrees, just warm enough so that I can get the honey melted and the sugar dissolved. And so once we get this up to a decent temperature, we'll go ahead and start making our soda syrup. Alright, so the ingredients for this are super straightforward. We're going to obviously use 5 gallons of water. We're going to use 3 pounds of wildflower honey. We're going to use 2 pounds of cane sugar, sucrose, and we're going to also use 2 ounces of root beer extract, and we're going to also use about a half a tablespoon or so of some homemade vanilla extract that was made last year. So stay tuned and we're going to get this thing going. Alright, once our water gets up to temperature, we're going to go ahead and start by adding 2 pounds of cane sugar. No soda is complete without a ton of sugar, so we're going to go ahead and add 2 pounds of cane sugar. Get that all well dissolved into our solution here. Alright, should be good. Just going to give it a good stir to get that dissolved. It seems like it's pretty well dissolved already, so we'll go and move on to the honey here. Alright, so the next step here, I'm going to go ahead and add 3 pounds of wildflower honey. I've gone ahead and turned the burner off. I don't want this honey to scorch on the bottom. Alright, finally, we're going to take our mash paddle here and go ahead and give this a good stir. We want to make sure that we don't have any honey still at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and give it another stir here. We had heated the honey a little bit in some water to kind of soften it up, and so it flowed really easily, as you can see, and there's not going to be much stirring involved here at this end. Just want to stir enough to get all of that incorporated, and now we have a pretty sweet syrup solution. Alright, now that we've got our sugar solution made, we're going to go ahead and crack open our freshly sanitized keg. This was cleaned and sanitized. Everything that's going on here has been sanitized, by the way, at this point. So we're going to fill the keg with 3 gallons of cold water. And number 3. So now that we've got 3 gallons of water in the keg, we're going to go ahead, get our funnel in place, and then we're going to pour our sugar solution directly into the keg. And as you can see, there's nothing left in there. There's no syrup or anything. That means we had it nice and dissolved. So that's about where we want it to be. So now that we've got the water filled up, we're right near the top of the keg here. We've got a perfect amount. We're going to go ahead and add in our root beer extract. We're going to put 2 ounces of root beer extract in there. This is a 4-ounce bottle, so I can get 2 batches out of this. One thing to note, if you're going to start making root beer or any kind of soda really, I'm going to want to dedicate probably a keg to it. As you can see, this little shot glass, plastic glass that I used, this extract is really dark. It will scent your beer lines. They will forever have a root beer flavor to them. So if you're planning on putting this in your kegerator, make sure it's on a dedicated tap. You don't want to start mixing your beers with kegs and lines that have had root beer or other soda in it. It will taste like that. All right, so we have one more secret ingredient here, and then we'll be ready to get this thing carbonated. So the secret ingredient here, special ingredient, is some homemade vanilla extract that Carol made last year at Christmas. So we're going to go ahead and give that a try here. We're going to put half of a tablespoon of this homemade vanilla extract. This is made with vanilla beans and Everclear, by the way. We'll go ahead and get that in there. Get that sealed back up. All right. And so now, basically, here we have root beer. We have the whole mix together. I'm going to grab my sanitizer. And so we're going to go ahead and sanitize the lid. I already had this sanitized when I sanitized the keg, but it has been sitting out while we've been brewing this root beer. So we'll go ahead and get this on. Okay, and now we're ready to get this stuff carbonated. First, we're going to go ahead and give it a couple shakes. Make sure that all of that is that extract is dissolved in there and mixed thoroughly, so that we've got a good mix and it will taste just right. So we'll go ahead and get this shaken. So now what we have is 5 gallons of flat root beer. We obviously wouldn't want to drink it this way. It wouldn't taste that great, or it probably would taste great, but it wouldn't be refreshing like root beer, right? It would taste flat. So what we're going to do is hook this up to the CO2 tank. We're going to set the regulator at about 30 psi, and we're going to go ahead and do our forced carbonation of this. If you've not seen how to do that, go ahead and check out my cream ale video. I do have a little section in there about forced carbonation. So let's get the CO2 tank hooked up and get this thing bubbly. First thing we're going to do once we have it hooked up to the tank is make sure that we're going to bleed off the oxygen from this. Alright, so now that we're hooked up to the gas, we need to make sure that we have an airtight seal here. Looks like we're good around the lid. Gas connection is good, and our output post is good as well. So this keg does not appear to be leaking. We'll be able to force carbonate this here to about 30 psi. Okay. We're going to get this keg laid onto its side. And we're just going to rock it back and forth for a couple minutes. And again, just like the cream ale, there's no real set amount of time that you have to do this. The colder this is, the better. So you might want to stick it in your keg cooler and get it cooled off before you start doing this. It's pretty cool what we started with here. We may just need to increase the pressure a little bit. We have a couple days until Christmas, and so I'm going to actually, once we do our thing tonight, I'm going to put it in my keg cooler on 30 pounds and let it set for a day or two. Test it out tomorrow and see what we're working with at that time. Keep going here for another 30 seconds or so. Now we're going to let this rest for about 20 minutes. Now that we've shaken it all up, let it rest for about 20 minutes, and then we'll be ready to get a sample off of it and see where we're at, what we need to do next. All right, let's give it a test. Got a nice glass of ice here. I like my root beer ice cold. I've got my picnic tap hooked up here. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. Okay. It's quite a bit carbonated here, but that looks pretty good. All right. So, there you have it. Let's see how it tastes. Oh man, that's good. I don't think I've ever had root beer with honey in it before, but yeah, that's pretty nice. I can also taste a little bit of the homemade vanilla extract, which gives it a really nice vanilla flavor. This is really good. Can't wait to get it nice and cold, put it in the kegerator for a few days, and then on Christmas Eve, we'll be ready to enjoy this. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay tuned for the next one.